My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to the Bazaar. It's time to go in Dolly. Come on. Really good direction in the opening here. I mean, hey. I've lost to a lot of ignition cores recently. I kind of want to be the person piloting one. Start with 2 bronze tier skills or a bronze tier skill and 2 income. Give me income, actually. Oh, right-handed. That's a pretty good bronze tier skill to start with. Tiny for a monster. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that I can use to get experience out of that. I also don't really want to go to Midsworth and just look at his start shop. I wouldn't be able to afford any large items, so I would only be able to afford small items. And I would have to get specifically one small weapon that I want. Real longbow to draw. Let's go to Lost and Found and Battery, hell yeah. Charge the item to the left of this 1 second. Happy to do so. This I don't think is enough damage to get us through the Viper fight though. Let's head to the Fang Dinglet. Interestingly, if the battery is on the left side of the core or the right side of the core, both times it'll give 1 second charge to the core. But yeah, each cycle of the core at the moment, unfortunately, can't stack any additional burn on what it's done previously, so it just does 4, 3, 2, and 1 damage for a total of 10 damage every time it goes off. Which means that it'd have to go off 8 times to beat the Viper. Because the Viper has 75 health. And it has a 6-second cooldown. So in order to go off 8 times... I would need to be... Oh boy, numbers. I need to be 48 seconds into the fight. Sure, it gets 4 seconds charge from the battery, but that means I have to get 44 seconds into the fight. I'm long dead to poison by then. Fang, every 4 seconds, deal 25 damage. And then I'll pop the battery on the left as well for the Fang. Isla sells weapons. 100%, I am looking for the weapon, Rocket Launcher.
But my weapons crave more.
I'll happily take Uzi though. Every 2 seconds, deal
Enjoy the thrill
2
of
damage.
Well, you can.
And then I'll roll, because if I do find the rocket launcher, I'll happily sell Fang to get it. Power Drill. When you have slow freeze, burn, or poison, charge this. I mean, no? It's just too early to get that? I really want to give additional burn to the ignition core. Upgrading it would be a really high priority. I suspect I go to Strange Mushroom. Yeah, you can get a neutral item here, but like I'm in a position where I'd really like to be very choosy with my shops tomorrow. Because I did not get much power today, and... Like, yeah, I've got a fast weapon, I got another weapon, and they're going to be charging the ignition core. The only problem is, if the ignition core is not charging anything itself that also carries burn, then I have no scaling for the fight. Because the other way that burn scales is you trigger the burn fast enough that you stack burn on top of the enemy, which I'm just not going to be doing. Even with these faster weapons, they'll run out of burn before the next ignition core goes off. Which means I have no scaling. Thankfully, the Uzi literally just with right-handed is probably enough here because the enemy's not really fielding weapons. Like, yeah, Shark Claw and Shovel are theoretically weapons and they are both on the field, but they're not a large amount of damage compared to what Vanessa usually does with weapons. Okay, so we got by on day 1. I suppose I will go to Midsworth now. I really don't want to, though. You know what? Give me a random item. Midsworth costs 4 to reroll. And can't even give me medium items. You know, most of the items I want right now are medium items. Exactly that one. Rocket launcher, thank you. Every 6 seconds, deal 12 damage, burn 3. So that's a burn item that goes on the right-hand side of the core. And also, so it scales its burn whenever the ignition core goes off, but also it gains the 20 additional damage for each of its strikes. Give me a burn skill.
Just one perspective. Youth has its own wisdom.
Non-weapons have crit chance, weapons have crit chance. I'm gonna roll because a burn skill or even just another weapon skill would be insane. Yep, there we go. Left-handed. Your leftmost weapon has 20 additional damage.
Confidence to let a kid train you. I'm impressed.
I'm 100% going to be going to the mountain pass and trying to provoke a fight. Gonna dunk on the giant mosquito. We're gonna get our level 3 level up before we get to the next day as well, which is gonna be hugely important. It's not hugely important because of what it gives you in terms of like your max HP is nice, sure. The random skill that you possibly get, not random skill, the random item or loot you could possibly get, yeah, sure, fine. The real reason is it's 2 more slots on board. That's the real reason it matters. Especially for dually, because those additional slots are additional charge for the core, which is your scaling. I absolutely eviscerate the Rogue Scrapper right now, and I would love to get as much experience as possible. I'm also kind of gonna hold on to enough money to make sure that I can take the best advantage of the B1 and B2 space, because upgrading all of our items, including our core, that's a lot of potential right now. Upgrading only the core is, sure, it's fine, but like, if I can have a lot of bronze items and upgrade all of them, including the core, that's significantly better. Junkyard Club, when you sell this, your weapons gain 6 damage. Hell yeah, I got a bunch of fast weapons on field. That's exactly what I want. Sadly, I don't have a toy item, I don't have a friend, and I don't have a food item, so I can't get additional experience out of Tiny Fairy Monster, but I can get additional experience out of literally just going to the study, which has it. I don't want to go to Curio right now. I just want fast items and board space. Speaking of fast items and board space, give me an item. Copperhead does not count as a fast item, friend. Lick it. Boost your stats with tasty treats. But it's also up against Pyre. Literally just give me a burn item. I think I go for the burn item. Bomb Squad. When you use an adjacent friend, charge this one haste this 1 second rather. Yeah, that's not really what I want. That's fine though. I mean, it's not really, but whatever. Junkyard Club, sell this for 6 additional damage to all of our weapons. I think that's pretty relevant. So Amber is here for every 5 seconds, slow an item for 3 seconds. I've got a battery over on the right-hand side of the core just to hit the rocket launcher. With the ignition core not contributing much via scaling, I wonder if just having a significantly faster resolution of the ignition core and the rocket launcher far over on the left side here is better. I think it might be. Alright, kids, meme nice. Otherwise, I'll have to ban all of you. Okay, shielded core. Yeah, shielded core. But it's not actually scaling any of your shielding items. You have some scaling coming out of Wallace, but like... Rear shielding. Your rightmost shield item has blossoming shield. Okay, so they just wanted the armored core to be the rightmost shield item and to trigger as commonly as possible. But if Wallace triggered 2 times with a 6-second cooldown, I think armored core giving 10 additional shield. Like, Armored Core would have only triggered 2 times, right? So they would lose out on 82 shield, but they would give 10 shield to Wallace before its first resolution, Security Camera before its first resolution, and Chris Army Knife before its next 2. And then 10 additional shield again. Actually, it would even get sped up by the Armadillo, so it would even be faster than those resolutions of Chris. But I guess it slows down the Armadillo slightly, which is their damage strategy. I think they should have gone for more shield than damage, but that's just me. Small items include a large subset of the items that are going to speed me up right now, but the thing is, I'm currently ignoring my HP pool, but if I have an eating contest and just get a bunch of HP out of it, it's going to make it real hard to kill me. Middle.
Welcome in, hon. What can I get you?
Pulse rifle. Oh, welding torch. While you have shield, this item's cooldown is reduced by 50%. I don't think I'm going to do that. DJ Robot. Hey, your friends 1 second. When you buy this game, drink nanobots. I do have 2 small friends, but I don't think I want to pivot out of something good to something bad right now. Welding torch while you have shield. I mean, welding torch literally just being a burn item is nice. Pulse rifle is one of the fastest available items when you have a friend.
Is free. I like the exercise.
Clarence wants me to only. If we're like on the border of running that. Tempest Flame Dance are literally just having just to get the Cutlass. There's also the possibility of getting Yo-Yo from Street Gamer, which is a pretty good pickup. Scout Trooper even has good ones. Additional ammunition is quite nice for both the battery and the Uzi. Weak Point Detector. Weak Point Detector is way too slow for me right now, I think. I feel like that's actually what I run right now. The thing is, Tempest Flame Dancer has so many misses. Unless I get that Cutlass, I would infinitely prefer to just go for the Golden Experience. And Golden Experience and possibly the Gunner skill, possibly... I mean, it can't give me the Uzi. You know what? It's fine, because he's just going to give me the Flame Sword, so it's okay. I checked in with him, and he's actually on board with his plan, so it's all good. The big reason I want to do this, by the way, is because the Fiery Cutlass says deal 10 damage, burn equal to 10% of this item's damage. If it was a weapon I had, damn it. If it was a weapon I had, and especially if it was the only weapon that I had, then I would run it. It would get 40 additional damage. It would be 50 with 5 burn, with 2 multicast every 5 seconds, and then I just have other, like, non-weapon items to speed up the core. Would have loved it. Upgrade an item from Ronstair. I almost feel like I shouldn't upgrade the core, just because I would rather the core get upgraded by B1 and B2 at the same time as a bunch of other items. But I also can't just rely on B1 and B2 being here and showing up. So I think I have to take the core, burn, upgrade. It's too important that the ignition core is upgraded here for me to give it the possibility that it doesn't get it. Kev's Armory, health, toughness, and shield related items. I don't know if those are relevant to me. Getting 1 additional income this early on? Probably not. Rocket launcher definitely wants the additional burn more than the core, because the core goes off significantly less than the rocket launcher. Possibility of seeing shielded items in Kev's Armory as well. Do I give up 1 income literally just to look at Kev's shop? Because, like, I think it stops at looking at it right now. I don't want Brick Buddy. Blast doors, I guess I would field. Probably not for that long, though. Maybe for that long. Blast doors instead of just battery and amber would be pretty good against aggression builds. And, like, I still die to ammo Vanessa. Sure.
Customer.
I gotta be honest, I didn't expect to see two burn items here. I don't really care about upgrading Copperhead. Sure. We scale our burn damage pretty high pretty quickly here. Yeah, it's B1 and B2. Knew that was going to happen. Honestly, Amber is not really something that has a future with our board state.
Curio sells junk.
Get B1 and B2 to upgrade all of our items, including the ones I was holding back, like Fang and Bomb Squad, which are now very sellable. I wonder. So over the course of 6 seconds, Copperhead resolves once, and Pulse Rifle resolves 3 times. How do I get to a number that both of them are comfortable with? 30 seconds? Sure. 5 Copperheads and 18 Pulse Rifles over 30 seconds. And 5 Copperheads makes 23 resolutions over the course of 30 seconds. I'm going to have to ignore ammunition because I'm not actually counting that and the fight's not going to go that long. I'm literally just looking for resolution speed. So over the course of 30 seconds, the Fang goes off 7 times, the Uzi goes off 15 times, the battery goes off 7, 15 is already 22. The battery itself is going to cause 4 more charges of Uzi, or rather, however many charges. Again, we're not actually saying how much it'll do over 30 seconds. We're just using that to try and figure out a rate. So this will have fired off also 7 times, and those 7 times cause 7 more triggers. So this is significantly more triggers than having Pulse Rifle and Copperhead on field right now. So yeah, I'll keep this.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
That's a crow's nest. Oh, okay. That's exactly the kind of build that wants me to have... Oh, God. Oh, they didn't crit on the final hit. Wow.
You've got talent. You should put it towards...
Did they not
noble
crit that entire time? Because, like, I was pretty sure I was dead there. I'm going to very quickly rewatch to see their damage. Crits 1, 2 times out of 8 shots, despite the fact that it had a 50% crit chance. They should have won that fight. On average, they get 2 more crits than that. So we got really, really lucky there. I can't think of a tool I desperately want right now. I can certainly think of a shield item from the docks. I can think of a tool from the docks as well, because it'd come from a different character. I don't really want the tools that Dooley has, though. Because, like, what are we looking down the... Let's take a second here, actually. What are we looking down the barrel of for tools for Dooley? What does Dooley have? Because we're too early for golds. I don't think gold can turn up on day 4. But that is one of Dooley's tools. Power drill and soldering gun. Soldering gun's pretty good. Power drill. Hamlet and Chris army knife are both available there as well, which would go alongside the soldering gun. Okay, actually, there's way better items
A bad
in
craftsman blames his tools. A good one buys mine.
Orion than I thought. I'm gonna take Chris army knife as a friend, a weapon, and a
It's
tool.
always that tool you thought you'd never need that ends up saving your butt.
Bomb Squad and Copperhead are completely irrelevant to me. Unfortunately, I don't think I can afford to sell one of them, roll here, and then hope to see something else that justifies. I'm gonna leave. It's hard to do so, but I guess I'm just gonna look for another shop in the future to help me out more. Security center, get a shield item. The fact that that could give me a larger shield item is the really appealing thing about it. Also, I guess it could upgrade the induction Aegis or the welding helmet. Oh wow, combat core. Whenever you use an item to the left of this gains 10 damage to the fight. When you use an item to the right of this, it gains 10 shield to the fight. I mean, the possibility of getting engine, the boiler room brawlers, energy potion, or time to tinker. I mean, like, it's nice, but like, do I just go to flame juggler instead? Flame juggler, do you actually have fiery as a skill, or am I thinking? I'm not thinking of. You don't have fiery as a skill. You have burst of flame. Yeah. First time the enemy falls below half health each fight, burn 10. Although you do have the lighter as well as cinders. Both of those are pretty important. Yeah, burst of flame's okay. I'm trying to think whether or not combat core ends up going on field at some point here. Because I don't want to put it on board just to, like, scale our shielding like that. Don't I? The ignition core resolves significantly slower. The combat core doesn't have most of the fast items available anymore. Like, I care about scaling shielding, but how much? I guess in terms of the Flame Jungler fight, it's the only thing I care about. And if I am going to go to Flame Jungler, this is the board state I run anyway, so.
For my next trick.
Because as long as I have shielding, the fight is over.
I will have my second act.
Better not to have to figure out a full board state before I completely change it again. Yeah, we can just see how little the combat core is actually contributing here. Like, I don't know if the fights go long enough for it to be useful. Argenta could change my mind.
We're a good team.
First time you poison each fight, freeze time 3 seconds. That's not going to happen very commonly. And second win, first time you use a large item each fight, heal 20%. Definitely not relevant. Well, hang on. Is there ever a world where I consider this? We just have Copper Red on the field. We just put him on the field so that I get the 3 seconds freeze, slow him down. It's 6 seconds into the fight that happens for the first time. There's literally just burn skills out. There's also just machine learning. Yeah, I was wondering if I'd get that. When you buy or upgrade this, upgrade the core. That'll be 2 cores. And now that they're both gold tier, I do think I probably have to run. But my damage is being dealt by the ignition core, so that means the combat core is supposed to be my defense, put it over the far left side of the field. I don't feel especially comfortable with this board stack. JJ, you sell items in general, Andy sells small items. Honestly, I kind of want to go to Andy because I'm looking for the upgrade to battery or metronome would be sick as hell right now. And if I saw Omega Ray, that would actually change the way that I format my board. There it is.
Whoever said money can't buy class had neither.
So yeah, now I'm very comfortable having the ignition core on the far right. Because at least whenever it goes off, it's also going to give burn back not only to the ignition core, but also to the rocket launcher. So now I need the fastest resolution speed that I can possibly even get for the ignition core. And that's not going to be welding helmet. That's going to be the battery and Uzi. Those are also the fastest items for the sake of the combat core. I could also have the battery for the combat core, literally just trying to get shield faster. The thing is, the battery is giving it 2 seconds charge at 4 seconds on the clock, and I have no haste and slow on my board. So realistically, it only gives 1 second charge. It's like a bronze battery. I'll keep this. Arc Blaster, when using other tech, charges 1 second. Ignition core and combat core are both techs. So is battery. I can see a world where I end up fielding enough techs that that's a good idea for me to have. So I'm going to sell a couple of things. And just hold it, because it's only 1 gold I'm missing for having to... Wow! Okay! Okay, things have changed. GPU is here, so is metronome, so is soldering gun. Okay, we're a core build. So, big note first, GPU hastes the core for 2 seconds. That's both of them, by the way. That's 4 seconds of haste. And metronome, when you use an adjacent item, haste the other adjacent item 1 second. Also really important. Soldering gun. That would be a really good way to deal burn damage. First, let's get the GPU.
You want to buy that? I mean, excellent choice.
Then, my only tool slash friend at the moment... Yeah, literally my only tool and literally my only friend is Chris. If I was replacing anything on board right now, it would be the rocket launcher, and it would be Chris goes there, and then the soldering gun goes next to you. The soldering gun is faster than the rocket launcher. Every 5 seconds it has 3 multicast, so it's faster for the sake of charging up the core, it's faster for the sake of charging up the other core. And also, every 5 seconds I get another cast, so it's like 5 seconds multicast 4 for the sake of triggering things, whereas this is 6 seconds multicast 3. Significantly faster. And then it comes down to whether or not I also want a metronome. I think giving the additional haste to the GPU is going to be more important. Or giving the additional charge to the GPU so that it additionally hastes, rather. I don't think I ever end up with the space to put the welding helmet or the rocket launcher back on field, so I'm going to sell both of them here. And honestly, even if I'm not using metronome right now, I will in the future.
Tell everyone you got it here.
Also, Omega Ray, when you use the core, which core? I got 2. That just made me so much more powerful than we were previously. It's actually kind of insane. I only have one bronze tier item and I don't really care about it, so I'm going to the Lost Crate and I'm getting a skill here, hoping that it's somehow silver and burn related. It is not. It is toughness, just 10 additional shield for our shield items. Combat core is on my far left because I do actually need shields, especially against, like, oh my god. Especially against the possibility of weapons finesse. I think this is far and away the strongest board I'm currently capable of fielding. I lose out on both my left-handed and right-handed buffs at the moment, which is pretty sad. But for a good cause, the soldering gun is going to get insanely powerful very quickly. So now I need this fight to start faster. A way to do that would be putting the Uzi and the metronome on field, so 2 seconds in I give a haste charge out to another item, and then we get to perma-haste pretty quickly afterwards. Reloading a gold tier grenade. I don't know if I will be able to survive that. Yeah, I'm shielding for a lot, but you literally just crit each time. It's 370 damage. Like, yeah, that was... I still fully stand by my board being incredible. That's just the effect of a lot of weapons against not much HP. Realistically, none of these other weapons did anything. It's literally just gold grenade, crit me 3 times. Ouch. I'm in a pretty good place at the moment, so I think the right thing to do is to gain resources. Let's head to the docks and gain 2 gold and a tool. Oh, Hamlet. Oh, that's great. Hamlet can replace Chris Army Knife if I get slow triggers. I 100% want to go for that HP, and I'm going to be doing so in just a moment. I'm not going to sell any of it just yet, though, because the trash down there is right trash down there. There's also the Curvian Rocket Trooper for the possibility of getting flashy reload when you crit reload an item. Rocket boots for 2 additional, well, 1 additional second of haste given out by the GPU, but the GPU is also, like, I can upgrade that to get its additional haste. Trashtown Mare. The fact that you could augment my weaponry or defenses, giving me additional value out of all of the small items we sell is just, it's so big. It also makes pivots that would otherwise be non-viable very viable. Because, like, if you have a bunch of damage from augmented weaponry, it's much easier to suddenly slot a greatsword on board. Augmented defenses, your shield items have +1 shield. Sure. More than happy about that. Now I get +5 shield for my shield items. Literally, +6 actually. It's almost a skill. And it's gonna get much better. Give me a silver tier loot item, please. It's gonna be cooldown reduction for the combat core every single time, by the way. Huh. Upgrade hammer. It's gonna be really difficult to find what I want to use that on. Artisan Dunes. Enhance your offensive items. I mean, like, 2 additional burn on the soldering gun is nice. 2 additional burn on the ignition core is nice. You don't turn down additional burn on the ignition core if that's your damage strategy. It's literally the most common firing weapon. 100% lost crate and skill. First time you fall below half health each fight, poison 20. I'm not happy to have that, but I could certainly see a world where that actually helps us. And that world would probably be one where I'm fighting a Vanessa. Especially when they got a lot of weapons on field, strength and lifting. Good lord. Thankfully, that's a slower weapons build than some of the ones I've previously seen. Yep, I can tell because I beat it. Also, it was largely about buffing while in the fight. It's got a lot of scaling, actually. Lifting for out-of-combat scaling. Every time you buy a weapon, give all of your weapons +1 damage. They've got Switchblade next to a katana attacking quickly, as well as butterfly swords with 3 multicasts because it's been upgraded. They've got Shark Claws. Every time that goes off, 6 damage for all of their weapons. They've got Pet Rock, giving 20% crit chance to all of their items, as well as improvised weaponry. When you crit, your weapons gain 5 damage with the fight. Thing is, they are a weapons build. It's just they're a scaling weapons build rather than an immediate impact weapons build. Immediate impact weapons build beats me. Scaling weapons build doesn't. And as soon as I have enough max HP, immediate weapons won't either. What was I just asking about, game? Thank you kindly. I will absolutely eat. Going to Andy for the GPU or battery upgrade or Omega Ray upgrade. Yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff there.
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
Cooling fan. The core gains 5% crit chance for the fight. When either player has burn, this item's cooldown is reduced by 50%. I think that's great. As soon as there's burn on the board, that's a 2.5 second trigger for both combat core and ignition core, and it's scaling their crit chance at the same time as well. I actually think that's really relevant. What would I sell to field it? It's obviously... So, from my perspective, Omega Ray is our damage strategy. It's our damage strategy because it has 2 adjacent, very fast-firing burn items, and also scales from each of our 2 cores going off. Great. Omega Ray, Soldering Gun, Ignition Core, and Combat Core need to be on board for that. Soldering Gun needs Chris Army Knife next to it. So I only have 2 negotiable slots. GPU, non-negotiable, really good for the Combat Core and the Ignition Core, and then Battery. So would I take Battery off field to field the Cooling Fan? Less haste to both both cores. I don't think I would. However, more haste to both cores via upgrading GPU. I'll certainly do that. When the GPU gets to Diamond tier as well, by the way, then the battery doesn't make any more sense, because, like, when the GPU goes off for the first time, it will keep them in perma-haste. So I'm looking to gain 3 gold here. I think I get rid of Hamlet and Uzi.
You're a smart one for your size.
This only needs to have a second haste every so often for it to be valued. So I lose an item trigger, but what about that? What about that? Then the GPU is going to have 100% uptime in terms of giving haste to the other items on fields. And the cores will also have 100% uptime for their haste. With battery, we basically get there, but it wears off at a certain point. But the battery is at least also another charge for the combat core and the ignition core. I suspect this to be better right now. See, here's the real gut check. Can I beat Infernal? I do think I resolve fast enough to beat Infernal. Especially because I have scaling shielding. Nice. I'm pretty sure I defeated you. Oh! Burning Rage. When you burn, your weapons gain +4 damage to the fight. Oh my god. Yes, please. Upgrade to silver or lower tier item. That feels like it should be Omega Ray for the sake of our burn damage scaling. Or... Oh, I was about to say, I can upgrade the upgrade hammer. And then the upgrade hammer can upgrade an item for me. That's so... It's literally just passing the upgrade down to something else. Omega Ray is now giving out 3 burn. To its adjacencies. Quixel, I need income right now, so I'm going to the docks. I mean, some weapons make sense again. Certainly not grappling hook. B1 and B2 to upgrade our bronze item, singular. I think I just take the relax here, actually. 700 shield to give me some more time in the next combat, especially if they're very aggressive, to set up the point at which they will no longer be able to outscale me. Yeah, I might not have needed that additional 700 shield, but this is certainly the position where I would like to have it. It's just they would also have to have more damage. Yeah, I would have to get down to 700 health remaining before I know that the shield is relevant. We do a lot of burn quite quickly. I need the fight to start faster, though. How do I get it? Like, Uzi Metronome is the one that makes the most sense, but then I have to take 2 spaces off the field in order to do that. I can't find 2 blank spaces on this field right now. Mountain Boss. For a fight? Thank you, Chilliam. Yeah, you can see why us starting faster is so important. When the enemy runs any disruption, it becomes pretty clear why I need to be faster. I gotta say, Icicle is one of the items that I will actually hold on to forever, because it could solve so many problems for us. Shield skills are not really that relevant. Haste skills are, but none of them are going to say haste at the start of the fight, unfortunately, for Dooley. All in your gold tier skills, a lot of those will relate to cores. And, well, not a lot of them, but some of them will relate to cores. A lot of the core-related skills turn on at gold. And core-related skills are really important right now because I have 2 cores.
I am not a warrior.
Oh my god. I daren't have even considered the possibility that you would give me quick ignition at the start of the fight, haste 2 burn items for 2 seconds. Oh, wow! There's also heat shield. When you burn with an item, gain burn equal to, shield equal to that item's burn. The resolution at the start is the thing that's most important. I've got to take quick ignition. I would love to have heat shield as well.
We Sphinxians thank you.
I'm going to take the opportunity to get another 150 max HP because I feel like I'm starting to get... Yes, Pyre would give me a burn item, but like what? It's going to give me charcoal or pyrocarbon and I'm not going to care? 6% cooldown reduction, 100% is the only thing that moves the needle here. It's not Treasure Turtle when Cosmic Rock is on the field. And we get haste to 2 of our burn items at the start of the fight. Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Insane. It's always Cosmic Plumage. What? Orion, you did me a service earlier. The only problem is, Orion, You have flamethrower, which I do not care about right now. I guess I have both left and right-handed. Like, the flamethrower, if it was my only weapon, would be sick as hell. It would also get the quick ignition very quickly. But, like, I feel like I have to tear away my board that is currently working to try and run that. And also, it's very expensive, so I'd have to sell a bunch of stuff. Power drill. Yeah, no, I don't think I go to you again, buddy. You could upgrade the soldering gun, but realistically, it doesn't need an upgrade. It gets 1 additional burn every time it upgrades. That's nothing. There's so many items in the game as well, like soldering gun, that their upgrades, like the upgrade for both gold and diamond tier is literally just 1 additional burn on this item. At diamond tier, 3 burn? Why? You know what might be interesting? Every time you upgrade this, it removes one of the conditionals, and it just gains multicast. That's a very complex kind of upgrade, but like, that would want you to upgrade this to diamond tier, because then you can take another item off field and you can just run this, like, it would give you a reason to upgrade it, whereas there's almost no reason to upgrade it right now. I'm not going to say absolutely no reason, obviously. There's edge cases, but like, it's really, really unlikely to be a good idea. Oh wow, we did get the power drill from that. Power drill sees 2 haste charges at the very start of the fight. Sees 2 haste charges every time the GPU goes off. It's a single tool. I don't think it goes on board. Still 2 late item cooldown reduction. Oh. Yeah, we take gunpowder. Like, the consideration for running power drill would be it goes in this position instead, right? So we lose a multicast off of the soldering gun. What do we gain for having done all of that? We gain the power drill, which admittedly does a lot of damage. At the start of the fight, it gets 4 seconds worth of charge. Over the course of, let's say, like 10 average seconds, I would say the ignition core goes off like 3 times. The GPU goes off twice. So that's 4, 3. 7, 8. And then 4 more, 12. So over the course of 10 seconds, this sees 12 triggers. So it gets 24 seconds worth of charge, and also it has naturally charged. So it's like it's got a 3-point-something second cooldown effectively. I don't think that's as valuable as the soldering gun, Chris Army knife, and battery. Maybe with an enchant, maybe with metronome in the future or something like that, you know? Just not right now. That stays. That probably goes. That stays until it's relevant. It's probably not going to be relevant at all. That goes, that goes. Okay. Easy. Small burn item. What are the odds you're going to give me the Omega Ray or soldering gun? I'm going to go to Kina, possibly look for upgrades to, in fact, a lot of this board.
Leave with big bargains.
First Aiden. So... It really depends on our enchant as to whether or not power drill is a good idea for this board. But if power drill is a good idea for this board, then first Aiden definitely is. Because power drill would sit on one side of the soldering gun, first Aiden would sit on the other, it gets its full multicast backs. First Aiden is also a 4-second trigger to give haste to an item on field, which is pretty good.
Use that for the good of all.
I'm not going to take the plasma grenade. I know it slows a bunch of times. I'm still not going to do it. Yeah, I'm not interested in those. Do I get anything rolling over the day? Probably not. All right. Level 10 is effectively going to decide what I do. I'm going to hold on to a couple of builds until I get there, though. Especially because it's not really costing me anything to hold on to these builds. Well... Like, yeah, I could get a little bit more additional shielding right now if I sold off a couple of my smalls. Fine. Cland Brown.
I should warn you, I'm not like other Jabarians.
Someone discovering dirt for the first time. I see land. Brown. Ooh, that Caltrops is going to punish me. I'm glad I've got some scaling shielding.
Well, I guess motivation isn't everything.
I'm very glad I've got some scaling shielding on this field. Yeah. It's all on Caltrops, which means that I'm kind of my own worst enemy at the moment. The enemies that are going to be able to really, really abuse that, the fact that I'm activating too many items, they'll pull ahead of me. I'm going to take 180 health here. I don't really want a weapon from Isla. Andy, your small items, though, those could be GPU, those could be metronome.
That suits you beautifully.
Red button, charge adjacent large items, 2 seconds. I mean, Hamlet... There is a world where Hamlet would end up going back on board, and that's where I get slow for either the metronome or the power drill as my enchants. Do I want to gamble on that possibility? It's only 2 gold to gamble on that possibility. Okay.
Diamonds come in small boxes.
Oh, you did it! The new enemy, Dragon, and we run into him specifically with an Ignition Core build. All of these are actually good for this build. Burning at the start of the fight is quite good. Obviously, cooldown reduction, but we have to go to the Dragon. The Dragon is new. Oh! Get him. Dragon has an item called Dragon Heart. Double the burn of an item for the fight every 10 seconds. And when you burn, or use a Dragon item, charges 2 seconds. Also has 2 copies of Fire Claw, 2 copies of Dragon Wing. Fire Claw is literally just burn equal to the burn of all your other items. Dragon Wing, when you burn, charges 2 seconds. And then finally, Draconic Rage. When you use a medium item, one of your burn items gains 15 burn for the fight. Obviously, that would be absurd with the Ignition Core being a medium and a burn item. Get got, buddy. Oh my god. Dragon Heart. Double the burn of an item for the fight. When you burn or use a dragon item, charges 2 seconds. So here's the annoying thing. I don't want to use it. But it's a new item and a new fight. Like, right now I have a really, really strong core build on field, but I'm currently effectively being asked to do this. And I'll do it. Double the burn of an item for the fight. When you use a burn item or a dragon item, charge this 2 seconds. Shield. Damn. Alright, let's have a look at the enchants for Dragonheart first. Excuse me? Excuse me, game, please show me the items. When I say game, I guess what I mean is website. Dragon Hearts! Okay, oh, wow, it doesn't have any unique enchants. It's literally just shield 50 for the... Shielding 120 every time the power drill goes off is kind of nice, but it doesn't really speed things up as much as I want it to. So here's the thing, right? Dragonheart. Every 10 seconds, doubles the burn of an item for the fight when you use burn or drag an item charge this 2 seconds. So I need to have a bunch of burn on board in order to make this relevant in the first place. But in order to have a bunch of burn on board, I guess I could take Omega Ray off field, but if I take Omega Ray off field, then suddenly the soldering gun, if it gets its, burn doubled, it could get its burn doubled 10 times and it literally wouldn't matter still yet. So, like, it feels like I need to keep Ignition Core, Omega Ray, Soldering Gun, Chris Army Knife, and Dragonheart all on the field. In which case, like, what's the Power Drill doing? Trying to give haste to the Dragonheart? At the start of the fight, 2 burn items get hasted at the same time? There's also the possibility, by the way. Ignition Core. Yeah, Ignition Core, shielded. Shield equal to 10 times this item's burn. I could just have the Ignition Core shield me a bunch, but the thing is, it still needs to be getting doubling from Dragonheart, otherwise that doesn't really matter at all. Especially because I'm not getting haste other items. I'm so confused. I'm gonna pause for a second and think about what to do. Okay, I think if I do this, the most appropriate way to benefit from this is to try and give the shielded to the Ignition Core, because it'll shield me up for 130 every time it goes off, right? It'll be the most common item going off, ideally. I wonder if Metronome and Power Drill are wrong then. Because I do just need the Ignition Core to resolve as quickly as possible. So, like, GPU makes a bunch of sense. Literally, give it haste. It's twice as many resolutions from it immediately. I think I give up on Power Drill for the moment. I think I just want haste coming out on this field. Yeah. Because the Ignition Core is going to be scaling over the course of the fight, courtesy of the Omega Ray. It's going to be happening very commonly, courtesy of GPU as well as the other stuff. If it ever gets doubled by the Dragonheart, which, God, I really hope it does, then suddenly it is insane damage and shielding at the same time. I really wish this was something else. I really do. Because I want to be able to use this. But, like, I'm being pushed very far away from it right now. I'm gonna go to Aerodrome rather than the middle here and see if I can find something relevant within a couple of cheap rolls at the start. If you gave me Pylon, would I put it on field? Perma-haste for literally every item? Yep.
For me,
Sorry, not Pylon.
is talking fast.
I mean, it's none of those. Oh, there's Pylon. It was Solar Farm I was looking for, by the way, which was burn triggers cause Solar Farm to lose cooldown, or charge, rather, and then it gives haste to all items on field. Alas.
It will be there long after you are gone, and so will I.
100% Bazaar Con for additional experience. Really difficult to dissuade me from that unless I think I am imminently going to lose directly as a result of not going. Frosty Bobcat, hopefully you are a little bit of a tame fight here for me. You look like you might be. But I'd love to have some time to actually look at what my board does. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we doubled the core a couple of times there. And we can see how powerful that is when it works. I think I might resolve that again as well. I want to see exactly whether the Dragonheart was only resolving its doubles on the shielded Ignition Core, or if it was spreading them out appropriately. Because if it still hit the ignition core twice, like if its average spread was just like, 2 on each of them and the ignition core only needed 2 hits to go wild, that's pretty encouraging. Okay, so first resolution didn't, second resolution. Okay, hang on. What the hell? Okay, so it starts at 13. It gets +3 from the Omega Ray. Double the burn of an item for a fight. Double the burn of the item for a fight. Double the... Oh. This works weirdly. Well, okay, it actually works how it says, but you'd think, or at least I thought, that this adds a static amount of burn to the item. No, it adds a multiplier to the item. Because when the item was gaining additional burn from Omega Ray, it was gaining still like a multiplier of the actual burn that Omega Ray was supposed to be giving them. Watch it happen, right? So Omega Ray on the first resolution gives 3 over, it doubles up to 38, then Omega Ray resolves again. Like you can see that final one gave 24 additional burn to the shielded ignition core. And that wasn't from the Dragon Heart. That was from the core going off and getting Omega Ray. Which means that if it got 24 from it, that means it's been doubled, doubled, and doubled. So it got 3 doublings there. And also, each of them is stacking multiplicatively. Okay. That's actually insane, because that means even if the Dragon Heart only hits Soldering Gun, then the Omega Ray still gives a bunch of additional damage to the Soldering Gun based on that. Oh, now I want Heat Shield back. Give me Heat Shield back. So over the course of this fight, 6 burns, 1 burn, 5 burns, so 12 burns resolved, and 5 items over this side because of that. These were contributing as well. They had 6 resolutions. Yeah, there's no way that a power drill would be better than first aid and GPU there right now, unfortunately. I mean, in terms of damage, maybe, but it's not really what I'm looking at. Cool. All right. I think we've got a build. I think we have a build. I do kind of want to go eating contest. Combat core is the next thing I get rid of, though. All right, then. Absolutely Simon. Wriggle can't help me. And Rukon, neither.
Hardware? Software? What's the hack today?
Dang. Could have upgraded both cores and sold for 12 additional gold. First 5 times you freeze each fight, haste the core 2 seconds. I mean, that's a way to get haste at the very start of the fight for the core. Once. It gets 2 seconds of haste from that. Starts resolving faster, which is best. How else would I give it haste, though? I'm gonna roll. The first... No. Oh, the first 5 times you use the core each fight, haste an item 2 seconds. That's actually great. Burn containment. The first 5 times you burn each fight, charge a shield item 1 second. I mean, shielded ignition core is a shield item, but so is Chris Arp. Oh. Actually. First 5 times you burn each fight, charge a shield item 1 second. That is a lot of very quick speed for the shielded ignition core to see. It's 5 seconds additional charge for the shielded ignition core, and it collects it all within the first 6 seconds. So it's just another trigger of this, which turns out for additional burn for those. And that additional trigger only really contributes towards 2-second charge for the Dragonheart. So no, it is heavy machinery. It's the possibility of getting out haste to other targets on field that otherwise wouldn't have access to it. I think that's important. Is it?
Oh, uh-oh. Your eye screen shut off. You still there?
It could share it to the wrong targets. Like, I only really want soldering gun to have. I'm going burn containment. Upgrading burn containment, and then that's 10 seconds? Insane. I'm going to go to pole because solar farm is there. I don't know if I have enough money to get that without selling the Dragonheart, which I'm not going to do. 8, 16, and another 10 there is 26. Just short, right? Why did it have to be diamond tier? When you burn, charges 2 seconds. Haste all your other items 3 seconds, give you 12 regeneration for the fight. It'd be a really good way to get perma-haste on all of them. 48, yeah, I need 30 additional. And I have 10, 26. If I sold Omega Ray, I'd be able to do it, but if I sold Omega Ray, then suddenly the Dragonheart is scaling significantly less burn on both of these. Dang. I mean, that's the item I was looking for. It's just too expensive for me to buy.
Tiny Andy says I need to close the deal.
I'll be going to weapons platform here. Oh, I should have put the GPU back on field instead of Icicle. Icicle's fine, but GPU would be better. Good lord, the burn gets so dumb. And that was with pretty bad targeting for us, actually. Kinetic Cannon. When you use a small item, this gains 30 damage for the fight. Always respect it when someone tries to use that.
Hope you packed a change of clothes, because you're gonna get dirty.
Tries being operative. Runic Double Bow, Satchel, and Silk Scarf. I can't imagine either of them, any of them, frankly, moving the needle for us. Huh. Poppy Field. If you have no weapons, your items have their cooldowns reduced by 15%. So, like, I do that. I guess that? 15%? I imagine Poppy Field is 20% at its highest. Yeah, 20% at its highest. It's got a 6-second cooldown. 15% is 1.5 seconds off of the Dragonheart, which is the most appealing, certainly, but I don't think it's enough. I did want to quickly have a look at it, though. Black Pepper. Every 7 seconds, burn 2, and then charge adjacent items 1. The only problem with Black Pepper right now is the fact that it's silver tier. If this was coming at gold tier and it was charging 2 seconds to both adjacent items on multicast, it's so much more impactful. And then I'd happily try and upgrade it to get it to diamond tier. It is a burn with multicast. Like, replacing Omega Ray with it. We don't scale our burn as well, but we burn a lot more quickly. It's also just the GPU upgrade.
Oh, a break. I don't take those myself.
I think I'll just take the GPU upgrade. Literally just having perma-haste on the shielded core, just courtesy of a single item, I think. It's really worth it for us right now. I'm going to go to Goldie, because if you're selling the solar farm, I'll actually be able to afford it. Remote core. No, remote control for the core, that was, sorry. And yeah, definitely none of those. This should still be pretty potent. I really do want something faster than first aid in that slot. I'd happily put an Uzi back on field. All right. I'll happily do this bit with you. You say I like trains, and then I will be the locomotive and engine that absolutely ends your life immediately for doing so. Shielded weather glass, shielding for 140, and you've got fiery lighthouse over there for a bunch of burn, and you've got dock lines to slow me down while you do that burn. I mean, it sounds good. It does. On the face of it, it sounds good. Poison Tyrant. Yeah, they don't really have super skill support for that as well, unfortunately. I'm going to guess they found a shielded weather glass early on, and they've just been like, oh, I'll make that work. Gold tier loot, cooldown reduction for the Dragon Heart. It's the only thing I care about right now. Crit chance, we give that to the core. Slow item from the obstacle course? I kind of want to go to middle for scrap metal, just so that I can try and get a...
Nothing tiny, nothing huge. All about moderation.
Second cooldown removed from the shielded ignition core. That won't do it, though.
Okay. It's been nice talking to you.
I do think far and away the best thing I'm capable of currently doing is making what I'm currently doing faster. Well. Fiber optics. When you use your leftmost item, charge your rightmost item 1 second. Also, when that upgrades, it charges 2 seconds. I gotta figure out whether Dragonheart is used more than Shielded Ignition Core.
You're a smart one for your size.
Shielded Ignition Core is gonna go off in 3 seconds regularly. Actually, even significantly faster than that. So yeah, cool LEDs is probably a better replacement for first aid at this point.
Tell everyone you got it here.
When you use your leftmost item, charge your rightmost item an additional second. I do need to be able to get haste on the core. That's pretty important. Just doubles the speed of all the core resolution stuff. Metronome being able to give haste back to the Dragonheart is pretty important to me as well. The GPU doesn't need to get haste back in the other direction, but if I am taking First Aid off the field, the only slot free at the moment is First Aid to put the fiber optics on field. I don't think I put the fiber optics on field yet. I think I do this version of it, and then I try and figure out whether or not fiber optics is going to be better. I almost don't want to fight Frost Street Champion just because it'll give me a kind of bump steer in terms of the actual resolution rate of my items, because they're going to freeze a bunch of stuff at the start of the fight and then continually over the course of the fight as well. I really wish you could just take a neutral fight, so that, like, literally just like a fight that affects nothing, so you can check out what your board state is doing. I'll fight the Frost Street champion specifically because I need enough experience to get to level 13 before the next fight. And this will get me that. Oh my god. Am I gonna lose? Well, it was pretty close. Thankfully, they have no crit chance, so it couldn't have happened, but still. Yeah, far and away most resolutions on Dragonheart at that point. I think... When you use your leftmost item, charge your rightmost item 1 second. Maybe when the fiber optics is upgraded, it'll be a better item for the field than it currently is. Cooldown reduction available at Curio. Yes, I like experience, but I already have my level up before the next fight. I have zero reason to care about damage.
That's been sitting there 20 years, waiting for you. Warms my rusty circuits to see that find a home.
Okay, I will take and sell feathers for 2% cooldown reduction to everything on board, or everything, and then I feel like cool LEDs should get the 1% cooldown reduction because this only targets everything on board. And obviously Metronome is a passive, so it doesn't need that. Hattie!
Try your luck. You can't lose.
Upgrade an item? Oh, a diamond tier skill!
Now you'll win the hammer game for sure.
Hell yeah! The first time you fall below half health each fight, heal 30% and cleanse half your burn and poison. That'll help us get deeper into a combat.
Go be a higher road.
There's the upgrade. The shielded ignition core, every time it goes off, giving 2 seconds worth of charge to the dragon. Honestly? No. When you use your leftmost item, charge your rightmost item 1 second. Right? So it's the leftmost charging the rightmost. Use your leftmost, charge the rightmost. What about something dumb like this? I guess Omega Ray would be going aboard. I don't feel good about that at all. Soldering Gun's not going to be able to get any additional haste from anything there. I guess like these two can haste one another. Two of the fastest resolvers on board. So this is about getting, whenever the soldering gun goes off, it gives currently 6 seconds worth of charge to the shield ignition core. Then it would give 9 with the upgrade to fiber optics, and I have no way of making soldering iron faster. Well, except for the fact that it gets hasted at the start of the fight, courtesy of quick ignition. I do think this is upgrade fiber optics. I just don't know if I'm using it correctly yet. When you use your leftmost item, charge your rightmost item. 2 seconds. So I lose my scaling in order to significantly faster use the core. I don't think I want to lose my scaling. I could theoretically, like, try and have it. I'm gonna haste the core with the GPU, use the... I guess... that would be the order. I'm gonna give this some more time as well. Sorry. Okay, I bring you back and I think I figured it out. So, we've changed the board a lot. Let me walk you through the new version of it. We no longer have First Aiden or Chris Army Knife on the field. Chris Army Knife was a mistake of mine. I should have taken it off as soon as I got burden containment, so I just fielded Hamlet instead. I do still have Omega Ray on the field, but it's no longer scaling the soldering gun. The soldering gun gets its damage scaling from shielded ignition core. That's important, because that allows the soldering gun to be on the far right, which means that when I use my leftmost item, the Dragon Heart, I give 2 seconds charge to the soldering gun, which is almost half of the charge of a soldering gun. When the soldering gun goes off, it gives 6 seconds charge back to the Dragon Heart, because it burns 3 times. We've also got GPU and Dragon Heart on other sides here, because when the Dragon Heart goes off and gives 2 seconds of haste to the GPU then has a 2-second cooldown to give haste back to the Dragon Heart, so they will keep each other in perma-haste unless I am interfered with. I would love to have the Omega Ray between the soldering gun, but the soldering gun needs to be both on the far right side so that it benefits from the Dragon Heart charges, as well as adjacent to a friend and a tool in Hamlet. Hunting Mage. Let's go, buddy. I think I've got this. It's also really important to make sure that the core can still scale its burn, because without the core being able to scale its burn, a lot of this build becomes much less powerful. A lot of the shielding Oh, what? Icy Power Drill. All right. Can I beat it? We do have a lot of burn on you. They've got a lot of lockdown, but they don't have much scaling. We have a lot of scaling, just not much lockdown. Yeah, if that had any scaling, they would have won. Like, sure, they're scaling shield, but they have no shield on field. It's literally just it's literally just the damage they were capable of doing on field. Nice. 12 resolutions of soldering gun. I mean, freezers were coming out that fight, so unfortunately I can't use that as a reliable metric for how my items resolve. I really hope I get a fight that doesn't actually, what's the word I'm looking for here? Disable us. Micro Dave, when you small item, charge this 1 second. No, thank you. Schematics and claw. You're too expensive to reroll. I don't care about any of those. Oh, sure, I'll take another battle. Especially against the Trash Titan. You're not gonna clog up my stuff at all. That said, you're also not gonna survive that long. Yeah, our burn damage doubles quite quickly. The alternative is trying to get soldering gun, which currently, like, it didn't even get the haste at the start of the fight, so it just had 9 resolutions. It got 15 seconds into the fight. But if it was on the far left, then when I use it, it gives 4 seconds charge to the Dragon Heart. But I really feel like the Dragon Heart charging... Oh, no, of course, the Dragon Heart was charging it. That's why it went off as many times as it did. Sure. I'll take Ectoplasm and absolutely destroy the Awakened District. This is going to be funny. Thankfully, we're in a fight where we can afford to double stuff a bunch of times. 4,000 burn seems pretty good. 700 burn on the soldering gun. Malafong teaches burn skills. I mean, yeah, Dira teaches diamond skills, but like, Malafong's mostly gonna be golds and possibly even diamond skills here.
But he's got no flair.
Oh, that's great.
Fire.
At the start of each fight, haste a 3rd burn item for 2 seconds. Yes, please.
Nightshade sells good stuff.
You have at least a grain of wisdom, since you have come to me.
The first time you use a large item each fight, freeze an item 30 seconds. Don't do that. Rightmost item has 24% crit chance. Yeah, but like, I feel like I can get something more impactful. Yeah, like burn containment for an additional 5 seconds of charge to the shielded ignition core at the very start of the fight. Well, very start of the fight. Quite close to the start of the fight.
I would never debase my wares by haggling. Ugh.
Yeah, realistically, this is Omega Ray or bust right now.
Ugh. Window shoppers.
Turns out to have been bust.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
I have more than 11 prestige, yeah, so I could lose this fight and still be in the running. Okay, they got a lot of haste triggers coming out of the submarine there. And a reasonable amount of shielding coming out of the shielded pufferfish. I have no heal, so my burn needs to double a lot to get to the point that it'll take them out pretty quickly like that. Yeah. I don't know why I'm zooming in on these other items like they're going to be in the thumbnail. 100% I'm putting this in the thumbnail because guess what? I used it the whole damn time and it was really good. There's another world where I had like cores and I was still doing the core build and yeah, look, that might have gone somewhere, but everyone's seen that before. Has anyone seen Dragonheart double the soldering gun into the stars yet? Also, fiber optics doing some serious work there, but soldering gun, the shielded ignition core, of course, was actually most of my survivability over the course of the entire run. Very, very important. Obviously not important in this particular fight because their submarine was just here for haste triggers. It wasn't actually here for the damage. I'm very pleased with this run. That's a dually run right there. It unfortunately does underscore a thing that I've said about dually recently, which I don't know if I've said on this particular series yet, so I'll note it here. Dually feels in a weird place in the meta right now, and that weird place in particular is that it feels like Dually's best way of succeeding is to find an item from another character, whether or not it's a monster fight or from literally just like another character's shop, and then run that. Dually's in a weird position where most of Dually's items don't feel good. I'm not gonna say most of them, but like, he's really holding on with fiber optics at the moment. Fiber optics came in the last patch, finally, was re-added to the game. It's incredibly powerful, but a lot of Dooley's early game tools got made significantly worse at the same time, including a lot of his cores being nerfed. Anyhow, that's what makes using other items so good on Dooley, because his just ain't it. Three experience points on the rankings away from getting into Legend. I'll do that soon, don't you worry. Maybe in 2 matches' time. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game. Well, that's been the Bazaar, hasn't it? Top left is a series playlist for all my content with the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. At above the thank day, and a special thanks this episode to Jazzy. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.